live. We're back. We've made it through Thursday. Holy shit. It's good to be here. It's good for you to be here. Glad that you are here. Welcome to Cooperville Live. Another big show. 2 guests. We're going to have some music played. It doesn't get any better than this. Thank you for joining us. Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. That's where we are. That's where you are. Here's where I am. Rocking that mojo today. Rocking that blacktop mojo. It's my boys. Today on the program, singer, songwriter, fantastic artist, live streamer, Travis Shallow is on the program. Coming up in under 10 minutes. We'll talk to Travis about life, about music, about the streaming world. I think he does all of his stuff on Instagram. He's all Insta Live. I like it. I like it a lot. Ryan J. We're going to do a little outlaw country today with Ryan J. He's going to jam for us coming up later on this hour. If you would like to help support the show, keep us rolling, keep us moving, keep us afloat, you can get all exclusive content through our Patreon. That link is in the comments of all of the places that you are watching. Here, there, here, there, here, there, and all around the square. So thank you. If you are joining us, make sure you jump in the comment sections. Love to see you put your 2 cents in. Let us know where you're listening. We had a great show yesterday. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun yesterday. George Dukas was on. George threw a song down. That was fantastic. If you missed any of that, the video is posted on still hanging on our Facebook page. It's also on YouTube. It's also on Twitch. You can go watch that. And Katie Joe, up and coming country artist Katie Joe was on. Great conversation with her. Her new album drops coming up on April 9th. It's called Pawn Shop Queen. It was great. Great show. If you missed it, watch the video. Relive it in real time on all of the platforms. It's there. It's a long day, man. Got out running again today. That was fantastic. We worked all day. Come home. Have a little something to eat. Get ready for a action-packed Thursday program. Thank you to my boys, Blake and Joey, for the intro. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Lots of stuff going on today. Of course, the big news that is going all across the world. Well, not the world, but at least here in the States is, of course, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package has been signed by President Joe Biden. You can expect your check any day now. They're saying by this weekend. They're saying by this weekend, you could be getting your $1,400 per person into your account. They're not saying when checks will be mailed out. I think that's later on. But hey, money's coming your way. Where the money came from, I don't know, but it's coming your way as soon as this weekend. So that's I don't know. If you go out this weekend and you see people like just spending money on stupid shit, that's because they got their stimuli. They're being stimulated. Money for the kids too. Yeah. Continuing on unemployment benefits and bailing out some states. So there you go. Let the good times roll, people. Check's in the mail. The check is in the mail, as they say. So I that's good news, though, right? I mean, I can get some new equipment. I'm gonna buy some fancy bourbon. It's gonna be good. I'm just kidding. It would all go towards very, very wise investments, very wise purchases. So once my $1,400 gets in the bank, I want to buy something real pretty and probably pay some bills. Keep the internet on so we can keep live streaming though. So that was the breaking news for today. So I guess if you if you're into that kind of thing, there you go. Congratulations. We're all buying fancy stuff. Lots of things going on in the news. We'll get to the news headlines a little bit later on in the program, so stick around for that. again, wherever you're tuning in on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Follow across all platforms. We're actually going to be doing some more exclusive stuff on YouTube and Twitch in the next couple of weeks. So if you don't already follow Cooperville on YouTube and on Twitch, then make sure you make that jump. Make the jump over to those two places. We're going to be doing some exclusive things and also some exclusive stuff on our Patreon too. So very cool. I see Travis Shallow is hanging out in the green room. We're going to bring him into the live stream. Hello, my friend. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, I'm excited to have you on. And you've perfected the art of live streaming and keeping music flowing into people's homes. You do it twice a week on Instagram, man. I'm super impressed. That's got to be at least a release for you too, to get the music out there.
I mean, it's done a lot for my mental health for sure. I was like, look, when the rug when the rug got pulled out last March, I knew, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I knew musicians had to pivot quickly. I mean, when something like this happens, it's like we're the first thing shut down and probably gonna be the last thing back open. So I just, hooked up the studio mics and a camera and got to work.
It has been a savior, I think, for a lot. And you said mental health. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Because as a performing artist, where, that extra layer of freedom comes from is being out at shows and being in front of people and meeting fans and sharing your talents with others. And when that gets, you said, pull the rug out under, I usually say like they shut the gate and they lost the key and they're still
Sure.
looking around on the floor for it somewhere.
Absolutely.
But it's been great to see and follow you since I discovered you on Instagram. That, I mean, you're just it's the Shallow Chateau for those who don't know, the Shallow Chateau.
Yeah.
And you're doing it twice a week, and it's so like there's a soothingness to it. It's not it's conversational. You're playing tunes. It's very much, you really get a good taste of your personality when you're enjoying the live stream.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. I mean, I try to keep it loose. Maybe some of the comfortability of it is because I'm doing it from my living room, which is also my home studio. So this is where I'm usually working during the day. So when I turn the camera on to stream, it's a comfortable place for me. So I do all my writing here. So it's when I go live, it's just I keep it loose and it's pretty comfortable for me.
It's your Zen place. It's where
it is. It very much is.
The Namaste comes from. I want to talk about your music. It's got, I mean, you have such your own sound. I mean, I listened to your stuff. I jumped on your YouTube and was listening to some of the music. Let It Ride. I was just listening to that actually before we came on here. It's a very you sound. Like I wouldn't classify it. It's not country. It's not Americana. It's kind of just like you. Like I feel, and from watching the live stream, I'm like, well, this makes sense. This is your sound. So describe like getting into music and some of your influences when you kind of started into the taking the smart road and going into music instead of as parents always said when people talk about going into music, like, are you sure?
Yeah.
What you want to do? How'd you get started, man?
Well, I grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, about 2 hours north from where I am now. I'm based out of Wilmington, right here on the coast. I moved here in 2002. My brother already lived here, and I don't really come from a musical family per se. I don't know, man. I just kind of got the bug early on, and when I moved down to the beach, college really wasn't for me. I kind of knew that right away. Or there was nothing that was had really caught me enough to pay that kind of money to go do. And so I just kind of started writing songs right away. As soon as I got down to Wilmington, wasn't that great of a guitar player, but so it's hard for me to cover other people's music in the beginning. So a way for me to do that was just write my own songs where they couldn't really be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I kind of right away I started gigging pretty soon, to be honest with you, man. I kind of fell into a couple weekly rotation gigs at some bars that I live close to down the beach, and kind of started doing that circuit. And every gig I've got since then all kind of started from there.
That's great. I mean, it's a fascinating story, I think, because it doesn't normally start like that. A lot of times it's,
I know.
you find an artist or a sound or a particular genre that you're into, and you try to emulate all of that, and then it takes a while for a lot of artists. It takes a while to get into that songwriting thing, because I think that's one of the more challenging parts of it is the songwriting, and then putting the music to the lyrics, and that putting that whole package together is where the challenge comes in. But to do it the opposite way, to flip the script on,
Yeah.
I think that's what makes you unique as an artist, is that you started that way instead of emulating others and being like, okay, that sound, yep, okay, listening
Well,
and
look,
thinking.
it wasn't because I wasn't trying. It's like, I was trying to sound like some people that I was into. You know what I mean? It was just, it was hard for me to do, man.
Mm,
A lot of the people that, like the James Taylors of the world,
mm,
and I was kind of in a songwriters pretty early on. I was never really into what was on the radio too much.
yeah,
No, that just didn't really ever catch me. It was always a little deeper. I was
mm,
always looking for the next thing. Um, and I was just gravitated to songwriters, and then I got super lucky because that first gig that I got, back then you used to have to may have a demo
mm.
on like on not that old, so it was on CDs,
That was on a cassette tape, yeah.
but you had to you know deliver them to the venues, and EPKs, electronic press kits and all that stuff.
Mm,
Well, I just got lucky, man, because one of the places that I live real close to on Riceville Beach, they had like, it was like one of those mug nights or whatever, college
mm,
nights on Tuesday, and they always had live music. And one night, like the guy that usually played that gig, just didn't show up, and I just happened to be there already. I was there drinking, and they were like, "Well, look, like if you can go get your guitar, I live 2 streets away. Then the gig is yours, for tonight, and we'll see how it goes." And so I was
mm.
like, I'm in. So that was my first gig, and then I took that over to the weekly gig, and like I said, every gig I've gotten since then started from there. So I kind of bypassed having to have a press, like a demo or any of that stuff. And then now I don't even know how people get gigs now. If you're starting off, what do you send them to your Spotify? Or what do you even do?
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question, because I'm not sure how artists, or bands starting out, especially if you're doing originals. That's got to be a
Yeah,
huge challenge, because I get, if you're doing covers and maybe you sprinkle in some originals, and like you have if it's a bar set, maybe you're playing for 2 hours, you get like a 15-minute
yeah,
break. If you're sprinkling in like, hey, this is one of our originals, and you kind of, that's usually the one where like the dance floor clears when you stop playing, Kenny Loggins' Footloose or something like that. Uh,
sure.
so I imagine it's easier for a cover band to get into to a place, be like, hey, we'll come in on Thursday, it'll be a fun party night, we'll play all the hits, and
Yeah.
but for an original artist, yeah, I don't know, like you almost have to
What
know
is it?
what
SoundCloud? I'm trying to think of like
maybe.
the free way to do it. Like, I mean, you hear about some of these pop artists or whatever that just get discovered on SoundCloud. Maybe that's it. But I was just honestly, that's the first time I've even thought about that, because it's been a while. But if you're a brand new artist up and coming, like you, maybe at the same time, some of the younger cats, they probably are more familiar with laptops and
Mm,
computers and tech, and it's so much easier to kind of record yourself now. Like the barrier to entry to have like a cheap interface and a microphone where you can, and MIDI loops and
mm,
samples where you can get a good sounding demo with very inexpensive gear, and then upload it to SoundCloud and then send that to venues. I get, like, I don't know. I'm
yeah.
kind of fascinated now. Now I'm curious. I want to know like how they even get started.
Yeah, they maybe they're putting a green screen behind them, so it looks like they're at a venue, and they're throwing out like a couple of tunes. Like, this is what our live show would be like if we'd done one before.
Yeah,
We just superimposed, a crowd in here. I don't know. It's it,
wild.
it's got. I'm sure it has its, and nobody's doing it right now, because it's tough to find a venue that's playing music. Some are starting to open up, I guess, but to have a press kit, to send to somebody, like, I don't. That's interesting.
I know.
You,
I mean,
you
I
gotta
just
solve
talked to
that
my
problem then.
yeah. I was just talking to my publicist yesterday, and because I still have my electronic press kit on my website. I'm like, do I need to take this down? Is this still even relevant? Like, because most talent buyers now, or any booking management or anything, they usually go either to your website, but like your EPK is kind of your website now. It used to be a specific thing. You know what I mean? Like, here's the one pager, email blast, whatever. But now they just probably go to your Spotify and your website, look at your numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
it's a mess.
Maybe it's a Instagram thing too. I mean, they go to your Instagram and see if you're.
I think so.
Creating in studio or have your own studio. I know it's got to be weird, and I'm sure over the course of the last year it's had to change too, because when you had a period of time when nothing was open, there was no venues open.
Right.
Now you have some venues that are open, but they're open at like a cap. And if they're open at a cap, they want to make sure that if you have 25% capacity, you can bring in, you need to bring in some people that are going to bring people in order to cover the overhead of having a show. So imagine the challenges are still out there to try to get, quality talent in. But I think the kids have it figured out though. I think they're using all the elements you talked about, whether it's SoundCloud or obviously if you have a song, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Pandora, you can get it in all these other avenues. And
right.
Maybe it's easier, but I think the long term, to get out and become an established artist and to build a fan base, that still requires a little bit of the old school effort, getting out and pounding the pavement and doing shows and
dude, I think, like you said, for longevity, I think that's the big point. It's like, I think there's maybe the access to the initial, let's say you're 18, 19, 20 or something. You write a song, you record it. You're right. Now, I mean, I was thinking SoundCloud just because it was free, but CD Baby or something is $20 or something. You could just put that out to all the platforms, and then it could gain some traction, with algorithmic type playlists. I mean, who knows? I mean, all kinds of things happen. But then all of a sudden, to me, that statistically, that's probably a pretty quick burn, where it's, if any kind of, I'm kind of glad that my career has been very much this, it's slow and steady, man. It's a grind, but I kind of, I'm kind of glad it's that way, because any next thing that's come has been like, gratefully, like kind of right on time where I was ready for it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I'm like, that kind of feels like the next right thing. So I'm in, or whatever the thing is,
I think there's especially when it comes to like songwriting, like and I've discussed this on the program with a couple of different artists. When you hear like especially on pop radio or top 40 radio, and you hear like a 13-year-old singing about heartbreak, and you go, you have no idea like what it is like to really experience, a relationship heartbreak, to an extent that maybe as you get older, you get to experience things. But I think when you're a songwriter, you need to experience some things in life in order to have, like when you're putting pen to paper and say, I'm writing this because I had this experience, and whether that's a negative one or a positive one, or somewhere in between, or it's just you and the beach and you and nature, like you have to experience those things before you can actually have another quality song. You have to experience life in order to be like, okay, I don't have to be pushed into a studio and you have, 12 weeks to get 10 songs recorded, and then the album comes out, and then, but like, what do you write about then? What do you like? Oh, in the last year, I guess, you need to have, I think, life experiences in order to become a great songwriter.
Yeah, songwriter for sure, but a lot of artists now, it's like, they're, a lot of them aren't writing the songs, a lot of them are given, a pool of songs. Sometimes they have input of which songs from that song pool to record. Some of them don't, but if you're talking about specifically songwriters, it's like, yeah, man, I think life experience. And I think for the most part, you're emulating your favorite songwriters or those artists that have been around for a while, until you kind of have your own life experience, and then and actually go through the trenches on some things, and then you'll forever have that well of stuff to draw from to write songs, especially if you write sad bastard songs and that type of thing, you know.
You need to have some sad bastard experiences, man. You
You
can't just
got to,
make
man.
that stuff up.
And the world will take care of that, man. You know,
No.
you can't dodge that. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's the strangest thing now, and given the year that it has been, there's a lot to pull from that maybe isn't necessarily life experience. It's just perception of
Sure.
the world that is, and the opinions that are, and the things that are, and the things that aren't, and all the things that are going on, and there's a plethora of them. So I think there's probably a lot of that going on too, where but that also takes time. I think it takes time to sit back and look at what's going on planet Earth and go, okay, well, how do I feel about this? And how do
Sure.
I, project that out, my emotions out about what's going on in the world, and obviously do it with some creativity. So I'm sure there's some ways, but pop music is again, we talked about SoundCloud, and now there's places like TikTok where artists are getting
Yeah,
discovered
sure.
for, one song or 15 seconds of one song. All of a sudden that song hits radio, and then they're like the biggest thing, number one songs, and they're winning awards. And they're like, I have no idea how to manage this or back this up or come up with a
No,
second song after this huge one blows up. And they try to force the second one, and it's never good.
no.
That's where the struggle, that pop music, this, man, that's,
It's a turn and burn type thing,
oh
you
yeah.
know. And that's why, like, you know, there's so much of that world and the TikTok thing that, like, you know, I, like I said earlier, man, if you're up and coming right now, I was actually talking to another musician friend of mine not too long ago. We were talking about that. They're like, do you think it would be easier or harder, or like just the differences of starting now versus starting when we did?
Mhm.
And it was a pretty interesting conversation, man, because, you know, I think if you got any traction now with a song or something like to the TikTok viral ability or whatever, like you know, how to even handle that onset, that tidal wave of what's coming at you if something takes off when you're 19 or something, or
Yeah.
8, you know what I mean, or 20. Like I couldn't handle that now. You know what I mean? So I kind of like the slow, organic, grassroots approach. Try to win them over gig by gig,
Mhm.
um, which has been another reason I'm really glad to the live stream, because, you know, my whole business model is writing the songs, making the record, go out and play it for people.
Mhm.
Well, this whole the last part of that cycle was missing.
Yeah.
So the next best thing was, you know, setting up a camera and trying to give some consistency when everything was awry. And I thought of doing that just because I needed that for, like I said, for my own mental health. Dude,
Mhm.
I would read in one room and I just walk to another room and read, and like I was just wandering around my house, man. You know, like
Yeah.
this, because you didn't really know how long this was going to be, and then it started getting worse. And, you know, shows were being canceled 6 weeks out. All of a sudden, the 6 months, and then the year was just, the schedule was clear.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, nobody has any consistency right now. Nobody has a schedule. If I sit down in this chair, same chair we talked about right here,
Yep.
2 times a week, Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and just keep it loose and play some songs, it'll give me structure, because
Mhm.
I'll at least have to, commitment wise, sit down in this chair twice a week and do something. Because, you know,
Right.
when you're self-employed and you're a songwriter and your shows are gone, there's like, what do you do? You know.
Mhm.
Um, so that's what I did, man. And as yesterday was episode 100, which is
Wow.
wild. But it was a good one, man. We had a real good stream last night.
Well, I think there's innovation in that too. I think that's you. What you talked about, you're, kind of doing things the old school way, and in my opinion, how things should be done is have that. You don't need this. You need to have this, but to embrace, what's available to you. The outlet of Instagram that's available. For me, it's on all these other platforms that we stream on, but embracing it and consistency. Those are two huge factors, because I think there were artists out there that didn't embrace it, and if they did, it was A, forced, and B, probably a little late in the game. And then consistency, it was kind of, some of the artists that I follow, I was like, cool, they're going to do like, a live stream show or a Q&A or something to keep their fans like, hey, while we're all locked inside, we're doing some writing and stuff. And then it became 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, sorry, we haven't been around for a while. We've been, just busy with, I don't know, what people got busy with during COVID.
Sure.
But I think consistency, and that's a great way to obviously build a fan base, which I'm sure you've recognized, is just, hey, we know that this guy's going to be here twice a week. We know the time, we know the date. They're telling their friends about it, because as therapeutic as I'm sure it's been for you to have this outlet for your music, for fans of music, for fans of yours, and for fans of music in general, they've been missing out on live shows as well. I mean, that's their time to let loose and listen to music and enjoy it and become a fan of new artists. So it's been great. I think it's probably been twofold for you and for your fans.
For sure. It's a two-way street. I was talking about that last night on the live stream.
Yep.
It is really giving me like a steroid shot of like, people really need music. Because like when you're in the grind and you're doing the shows, and you're a lot of times it's hard to carve out some time to kind of step back and look at the year, look at the last 5 years, do things with intent. Like what am I doing here? What do I want to do? What am I working toward? Why do I feel this way about it? How do I feel this way about it? And I wasn't really taking the barometer on like how much people needed live music. Like it was a baseline, but didn't really look at that too much. Well, then
Right.
the pandemic hits, and man, like the live stream, it like I said again, it didn't take off. It's more like the way I like things. It was right in line with how I kind of do things. It was kind of a slow burn, slow and steady. The numbers were I don't even like to say numbers, because they're people, man. They're fans that needed live music and structure. And then the messages that I've got, man, I'm grateful, man. I feel really blessed during this whole thing. Where people started scheduling their weeks around the live stream. It started to be an anchor in people's schedule where they could either sit down with a family and people. I'm the reason this is so in the front of my mind. I'm putting together this fan highlight, kind of like a thank you video, and I had people send pictures and videos of how they watched my live stream. Because people have gotten creative with it, man. Everything from a phone in a car to like a projector screen on a farm with outdoor speakers. It's wild, man, and everything in between. So, and people in the beginning were just sending me just voluntarily, and I had enough of them, like probably 100 of these. I'm like, well, y'all send me some stuff, and I've got a Facebook group that a private group that I had everybody kind of send stuff to, and called the Deep Enders. If anybody out there wants to come join me, it's a good crew, man. And so they were posting pictures of how they watched the live stream, and we did a limited run of live stream shirts, just to keep it moving, you know what I mean? And I've got a couple local friends here. One of them print shirts. John Spatrino with Daz Tech Promotions. He's a local guy here in Wilmington. Another friend of mine, Tom Shaw, that did the design. I was just trying to keep it local, kick some friends some work, and the shirt sold out. It's like it was just really beautiful to see. But kind of circling back around, like it reinvigorated me. It really did, man. And that people, I've always said, you need food, shelter, water, music. It's like that's me, but I wasn't sure, like, and not always in that order, but I kind of thought that I was part of the minority on that, but over this past year, man, there are people that like really, really need music in their lives. You know what I mean? And It's actually been like a real an honor and a pleasure to sit down and like do my thing twice a week and to have people respond like they did, man. So kind of a long-winded way of saying it's been a crazy year, but man, super grateful.
I think that's a great takeaway from it, is that people needed and still need, still need to have music in your life. And it takes, I mean, sadly, it takes music being taken away, live music at least being taken away, to make you realize, like, when a show comes to your town, or a local band is playing, and you're like, it's Thursday, I gotta work in the morning.
Yeah.
Next, like, totally next time. Like, next time I'm there. And
The classic text from friends, you know what I mean? Whenever I'm in their town, it's like, oh man, next time I had this thing.
Dude, I know you're coming back. Like, we'll see you in, like, a couple months. It'll be good. Like,
right.
People realized after the 15 days to flatten the curve had gone by the wayside, and we're looking at it in the rearview mirror, like, wait, what? Go, oh wow, like there's no show. Like, I can't go at all. Even if I'm asked, I can't go because there's no shows. The venues aren't even open. Around here where summertime is, we get like 3 months when we have to shove every outdoor thing in. So all, music in the park that we have in a couple of different of these towns, and the big music festivals that we have. And people were like, oh shit, like, wait,
right.
I can't do any of it. And then I think a lot of people had that realization, like, this is without even thinking about it in the past, like, this is a major part of who I am as a person, is going to these shows. And that I think and hope gives, some foresight into when it is back to whatever normal is going to look like, whenever that happens to be, that when you get that text from a friend, or, Travis Shallow's in town and they're doing a gig, you go, I don't give a shit what day it is. Like, it could be, if he's doing a Monday night show, Tuesday be damned, because I'm going to go. I think that
I hope so, man.
That should become the mentality moving forward, is people won't miss shows no matter what, because they realize when things are taken away, oh yeah, I really did enjoy that, and I need to do things I enjoy, because maybe I haven't been able to do much enjoyable stuff in the last year.
Yeah, that next show is not guaranteed anymore, and I think hopefully people remember this. At least that aspect of it. Everybody's going to remember this past year for the rest of their lives for sure.
Yeah,
but
feels like that should be a t-shirt, like, remember when you couldn't go to shows, hashtag 2020
exactly,
something along those lines. Get people to remember, because that people will do that. 6 months after the floodgates open back up, they'll be like, oh, whatever. I'm like, hey,
don't forget.
Remember, hashtag remember 2020.
Yeah, next show not guaranteed. Exactly.
Go to the damn show, buy the damn tickets, man. No. So when was the last time you actually were on stage doing a live show in front of people? Was it before, right before the pandemic? What was your
so last it was, what's today? My last show was March 15th of last year, but I did do a drive-in concert last year that was great. I believe it was the end of June last year. We have a great venue here called the Wilson Center. Beautiful kind of auditorium theater, great venues, great acts come through. But they have a huge parking lot behind them. And it's right there on the Cape Fear River in downtown Wilmington. And they wanted to put together, the rug got pulled out from them too. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the shows they had to cancel. So they wanted to put on a drive-in concert, and they had never done that before. This is all firsts, for a lot of people. You had to kind of get creative. So they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to headline one night. And I said, yeah, sure. And it was cool because what they did was there was no stage, no front of the house. So they had a stage, but there was no front of the house speakers. And what they did, they just blasted out with the FM signal to all the car radios.
Oh, nice. So
when they pitched that to me, I was just like, just the tech side of my head, the studio side of my head, I'm like, that sounds like there's going to be a lot of problems. But I went there for sound check, man. Sure enough, my monitor guy, stage right, was just had an iPad, and the little FM transmitter, and he said he could send that thing 3.5 miles away, clear as day.
Wow.
So like that whole parking lot, man, they just dial into a certain station. So we just pre-sold tickets, staggered the spots, so it was a space in between the cars. You had to stay in the car, of course there was like, precautions and that type of thing.
Right.
But dude, we parking lot was full. And so that was a nice needed, like, halfway point that gave me kind of a boost the end of June last year. So that was great. But since then, that's been it, man.
Just the live stream and but
live stream.
At least that keeps some mental sanity. But I'm sure there's clearly elements that you miss from being out and doing shows and being in front of people and
oh yeah. I mean, dude, the live stream isn't a forever thing. It's
right.
what we're doing now until we can get back to the real thing. Although I will say, I think I'll probably do some form of the live stream ongoing. It's definitely not going to be twice a week. I might end up doing something like once a month once things get back to normal. This was never meant to be, a replacement. This is just for the time being. Let's keep this thing going and kind of keep the contact there. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's but since then, another thing too, man, last year, I had a single that was supposed to be released, the end of March last year, and we pushed that back to June. So that was interesting too, to like not go out and do the thing. You know what I mean? It was like to have a song released during this, but at the same time, man, the silver lining was the live stream, because I do a monthly newsletter too. I personally do it. I kind of enjoy doing it, man. It's something I can put it comes directly from me. I send it to my people and it's like, first person, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so the live stream kind of became like a video newsletter twice a week. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just tell people what you were doing. So it kind of replaced my monthly newsletter that I do, but I still do it also. But so when I was releasing the single, I could just kind of tell them, of course I ramped it up, you know what I mean? So we pushed the release back. It was released on Cavity Search Records out of Portland, Oregon. And it's supposed to be released the end of March. We pushed it back to June 26th. And we were going to push it back again. I said, I don't want to push it back. Let's just release it. The world's upside down. Let's, we'll see what happens. Well, since the live stream was the way it was and people were kind of thirsty for new music or just anything music related, it did really well for me. I did kind of like a single release party, I guess you could say, on the live stream, just like debuted the thing. And it's been my best single to date. So best well-received song to date. So for all the downside, there's a plethora of silver linings from this whole thing, man.
Well, it's good. I think and especially when you have a lot of people's attention can be focused. It's not on the 365 days a year and the 400 things that are going on in the course of a day. They can be like, okay, I can solely focus on this because I ain't got nothing else going on. So that helps in that aspect of, especially with the single. What are the current like conditions in North Carolina as far as are venues starting to open up? Is there any talk of anything? I mean, are you kind of keeping a pulse on like timeline and stuff going forward?
Yeah. So they just I believe things are opened up in a 30% capacity in North Carolina right now. Bars and venues were doing not I don't really think venues, to be honest with you, but some bars that also did music and that type of thing, which I wasn't really doing that scene, too much. So they were still kind of having music at limited capacity. If you could have outdoor seating, there was something about if you have outdoor seating, you can do a certain percentage of people to come in. But then bars that didn't have outdoor seating, they were just, kind of couldn't open. I think recently, I believe like the last week or two, they had changed that where bars can open at a limited capacity, but they got to be done by, I think, 11 p.m. So any of the the late night bars and the late night clubs that are strictly venues, their doors are still shut. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping my trying to keep my finger on the pulse of it, but I really don't see venues and theaters and ticketed events and that type of thing really coming back for the foreseeable future. I mean, we'll see. Like all this is a dot dot dot. All this could
Yeah.
change relatively quickly, but going on the pattern from last year, whatever the quickest timeline you could hope for, probably double that to be safe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, but I don't know. We might start seeing some things by summer, late spring, summer, maybe some more outdoor stuff where it's the driving concert type thing.
Yeah.
But instead of the super limited capacity, it could be more people.
Mhm.
But the way I'm kind of looking at it, because I'm getting calls, on booking stuff out for the year, and I'm kind of taking it on a show by show basis.
Right.
If it is outdoors, I'm considering it. But if it's the last thing I want to do is book a bunch of shows and then have to cancel them again.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of bands are just doing that, and I don't want to do that per se. You know what I mean? I kind of want to know that, okay, the probability of these shows happening is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not like, or actually not just pretty good. Like these are happening.
Yeah.
Before I kind of commit. I'm doing an outdoor festival right outside of town here. It's like a social distance thing at the end of April. But other than that, man, I'm taking it show by show.
Yeah. I think a lot of people in a lot of states are keeping a watchful eye on Texas and going to see how that all plays out. And obviously it's going to take some time for numbers to come back, but I think there's a lot of people that I've spoken to about this very thing. They're like, well, I think the eyes are on Texas as much criticism as they're getting. People still want to see, okay, is there going to be issue? And if they're having success, okay, what are they doing? Because people have a misconception that it's a free for all. It's every business has its own set of rules, and every county has its own set of rules. But I think people are going to see, like, okay, how does this work? I know the Texas Rangers, they just announced they're doing full capacity at their ballpark for
Wow,
a
dude.
couple of games. It's like, I'm not sure what the numbers are. I think it's like a 40,000 seat stadium, but I
Man.
don't think you're ever going to be able to fill that. I think you have a percentage of the population that's not going to go. And opening day in baseball, it's usually like a Tuesday afternoon, so
Right.
they're not, but it'll be interesting to watch, see how that plays out. And if that does end up being kind of okay, what exactly, how exactly, and what is the success rate? And hopefully that, along with other elements in the universe, leads to some things opening up. Because I know you're itching to, as much as you're having fun with the live stream, and it's super cool, it's super chill. I know you're itching to get back out and do some shows, but
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit back to get back to it. But I feel like we're really close.
Yeah.
And so the place is opening back up. It's like, with it being so close, like you said, we'll see. But
it's a wait and see game. Yep. Cool, man. Well, Travis Shallow, hey, man, thank you so much for taking some time out. Congratulations on the 100th live stream last night. That's super cool, and it continues to grow, and you're doing things your way. And I think that's, during all this, to be able to really have control and be like, I'm going to do it this way, and also to provide the mental health aspects of it and consistency, because you're going to run out of books eventually. You keep on reading and run out of books to read. So
exactly.
So it's good that you're getting out, and let people know what's I think are you at Travis Shallow on Instagram?
Yeah, at Travis Shallow, pretty much on all the socials, YouTube. My live stream now is going to Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I just started the restream thing where it's going to all platforms now. But yeah, man, anybody that's tuned in and wants to catch an episode every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We got a good crowd, man. Everybody's nice as hell that tunes into my stream, man. They really are, man. I was a little worried at first that or actually kind of looking forward to just the comment section craziness, because that's what via Facebook, you know what I mean? I just was like, look, I'm going to do my thing. I don't care. I'm going to do. But man, it's kind of self-regulated by this crowd. It's like, I mean, it's just good people, man. That like the kind of the familiarity of getting to know somebody and just hearing their songs and to kind of get their feel for the week and get on with their lives, man.
That's cool. Like I said, it's therapeutic for you, and I'm sure for them, and they're probably gaining friendships in the comment sections, and
it's wild. It's all over the world too, man. It's a silver lining, you know. It's we got people from all over, man. So that's why I said I don't think I'm going to ever fully stop this. Maybe it might be once a month, it might be every now and again, but like there's something here where like I like having that access and having other people from all over the world to kind of join in on what we're doing, man. So I'm not gonna ever close the door fully on that.
Awesome. Travis Shallow. Hey man, thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and hopefully obviously we'll see you on the live stream, but hopefully we'll see you out doing some shows here in the near future, man. Take care of yourself.
All right, cheers, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you, man. Take care. Travis Shallow, at Travis Shallow on all the socials. Make sure you follow him. It's very cool. He's broadening the live stream too to go to all different platforms. That's awesome. So, but definitely follow him on Instagram. He's got so much great content on there, and the live streams still live there. So very cool stuff. For all of you who are tuned in on whatever platform you are on, whether it's on Facebook Live or it's on YouTube or it is on Twitch, I say thank you for continuing to watch, continuing to enjoy. The show rolls on here in just a couple of minutes. Ryan J is going to be on. We're going to talk music and life, and just keep the vibe going, keep the positivity going. So stand by for that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Mr. Ryan J. We're back, Cooperville Live. Hope you all you took your bathroom breaks and you got your bourbon or whatever it is that you do on a Thursday, like I'm totally cool with it. Like I'm not here to judge you. I was not taking shots of bourbon during the break. I promise. That's okay. That may or may not be true. I can't lie. I took a shot of bourbon only because when George Dukas was on last night, he made me go get a drink, and I just happened to still have the bottle down here in the studio. So it's not my fault. How about that? It's not my fault. Again, thanks to Travis Shallow for joining the show. We move on with guests. I see Ryan J is hanging out in the green room, and now he is on the program. Ryan J, how you doing, my friend? There he is.
How you doing, man?
Doing well. How about yourself, man?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad.
That beard game is strong, my friend. The beard game is strong.
Dude, thank you. My girl always makes fun of me at home because I'm oiling it and beard brushing it she's always making fun of me, but hey, thank you.
Oh, I know, man.
Yours too, man. I like that.
I know, right? See, like that?
Absolutely.
See, I started, I have a beard company, so I make beard oils and beard balm. I'll send you some stuff. I'll get you.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah. I got Captain Coop's Beard Company. I started, and I didn't realize it until I started it, because when I started growing a beard, I kind of went through, like, I was testing out different products, like, oh, this stuff says it makes it grow thicker and stronger, and this stuff is strong. And I didn't realize, like, I'm in the bathroom, like, just like pampering myself, get the brush, just take. And my girlfriend's like, really? Like, what do you want next? Do you want some under eye stuff to put on? Like, you need some night liner? Like, what do you need? But
we gotta take care of ourselves too, man.
You got to be pretty once in a while. This is all we got. But hey, I want to say thank you for joining the program. I discovered you on Instagram. It's been kind of that's been a great discovery tool for me during all this, is to be able to scroll through and obviously if you have a little something that's running and you get a little chance to hear a song and you're like, and then you dive down the rabbit hole, and I reached out to you. But I want to thank you for being on the show, man. I can't wait to talk country and music and beards and all the good stuff, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that.
So tell me about getting into music. It's a weird, I always like hearing people's stories, because it's never like, it never was perfect. There's never like this whole, like, oh, it was great. Like, I decided one day I wanted to be in music, and then here I am. I'm in music now, and there's never been any challenges. It's just been nothing but great, because sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Absolutely, man. Actually, years and years ago, back in like 2004, 2005, I actually toured in a hardcore metal band. So I grew up on country music as a kid, and all the old stuff, Hank, Johnny, Johnny Paycheck, Merle Haggard, with my dad, but as I turned 16, 17, I started getting all rebellious and stuff. I'm going to play heavy metal and see you later, parents. And I ended up going on tour with a band called Strength and Honor all the way through East Coast, Quebec, all kinds of craziness, man. I had a blast. But my first son came, my only son, but I have a son and a daughter, but my son was born, and I was just like, I really can't tour no more. I got to stay home and take care of the baby for a while. So I sold all my gear, all my guitars, my Mesa Boogie stuff. And the only thing I kept was my acoustic guitar. And this is probably about 2006, 2007-ish. And I just started playing country music, man, just from my roots, growing up. So from there, that's kind of where it escalated, going forward and writing and doing everything. So that's a lot of people, hey, you've been doing country forever. Well, not really, but come from a couple different types of backgrounds.
I think that's important, though. I think, as an artist, and I'm sure you go through, I talk about this a lot of people, because I have moments when I'm like, I am super into one particular genre, and even inside of that genre, like one particular sound. Like if I'm going old country, it's old Hank, it's Johnny Cash. I got a Johnny Cash tattoo on my leg. Like,
100%.
I'm into that. But then I'll go through times when I'm like I run in the morning. I go out and I'll run the streets of Chippewa Falls here. And if I'm like in a zone, like it gets pretty heavy. It gets heavy, or it gets like hick hop. It gets like Yellow Wolf. And it gets this. It all depends on the mood. So I think to have all those experiences and all that styles, I think it makes you a better artist, because you have perspective of a bunch of different genres.
100%. And even in some of my newer country songs, man, it's wearing off. Where some of these songs, one for instance called "No Hope," it's a little heavier. It's country, but it's on that brink of being kind of like old Metallica ish, and it throws a twist in there, man. So it's good, I think.
I think and it gives you a unique sound, because you're not really, pigeonholing yourself into like, here's what we sound like, and we got to stay in these lanes. You can veer off here and there and really adapt how you want to sound to the song.
I'm glad you kind of brought that up too, man, because for many years now I've been fighting, what do I want to do? Do I want to do the old school outlaw country, or do I want to do the more modern stuff that's going to be, on radio and all that other stuff? And the more outlaw stuff, traditional stuff is more my passion, 110%. But I write these more modern songs that, should I dismiss them? I'm a songwriter. So no. So just recently, man, I'm just like, always worried about what people think as an artist. I'm like, oh, what are they gonna like this or they gonna like that? And just recently, I'm just like, whether it's outlaw country or whether it's modern country, I'm gonna put it out under my name. And if you like me, like me. If you don't. And I battled with that for a while. So, and I think we talk maybe later, we might do 1 or 2 songs. And if we do 2 songs, I'll play one of each of the styles. But, I just came to realization that, I just need to go with my gut and play what I play. And who cares if it's outlaw? Who cares if it's modern? It's me, And a lot of these guys try putting themselves in a genre and they stick to it. And that's what they are. If you're outlaw and all those guys are going to make fun of the modern country guys, and all the modern country people aren't going to know who Whitey Morgan and Cody Jinks are, but right. I think it's important to do what you do as an artist and don't put a gate on it. And that's recently what I just decided I'm going to do and just stop fighting myself back and forth on it,
Cody Jinks is a beast though, man.
Oh, he's so good.
Beast. Oh, actually, dude.
Yeah. He's awesome. And actually my song Heading a Mess I just released back in September. Brett Robinson from Whitey Morgan, pedal steel player. He laid the pedal steel on that. So, and I've been talking to a few of the guys with Cody and trying to get out there in Texas for a songwriting session. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, man. Texas is open, man. Texas is open for business.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
As of yesterday, man, they opened it all up. They're doing venues. I had I can't remember who I was talking. I think Warren Garrett, I think I had on a Monday. I'm like, every venue in Texas is phone is blowing up right now because people are like, I'm coming to Texas, line me up with some shows, because people are sick of this shit. They're tired of being home. They want to go to a show.
Me too, man. And we got a few shows trickling in now, which I'm grateful for. But it's been a hard past year, and I rearranged everything I thought I had planned. But which some of it, in a strange sense, worked out for the better. Which I didn't plan again, but we're ready to go. I'm ready to go, and we're ready to just rock this shit out of some places, man. So yeah, Texas is on the list for sure.
No, it's like I said, they're open for business and taking phone calls right now. So jump on the horn and get down. Yeah. Are you out in California?
So I'm in Michigan now.
Michigan, okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to California. I'm going to California the 27th of this month to do a big show out there. It's actually a big mud bog festival with the Good Old Boys. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're a hip hop country kind of group, but they support the traditional stuff, and they had me come out there and open up, and all their fans are really supportive. It's an awesome time. So it's a big outdoor mud bog event. Nice. So they're flying me out there for that, and I'm pretty excited. And then I got April 17th, which is a Saturday. I got a local show here in Michigan in Melvindale at Parts and Labor, which is going to be seated, reservation only. So it's a weird thing getting back into all these shows here, man. You see different states doing different things, and I'm just sick of it. I'm ready to go hit the road and do what I need to do what I got to do. So,
and do what you love to do. I mean, let's not
do what I love to do. The most important thing.
That's your stuff. I mean, I know you write your own stuff, which I just love.
Thank you.
That's my jam. Oh, it's not my jam, it's your jam. But I'm into people who write their own stuff, and
right.
And even like when you talk about collaborating with, I mean, you collaborate with an artist that is of the same mindset. It's the same thing. I mean, I love the songwriter aspect of it. But for you, I mean, where the energy, where that for music comes from is being on a stage with a bunch of people, beer being spilt on it. They're just going nuts. I mean, that's
100%.
That's the meat and potatoes of this industry, man.
100%.
Got to get back to that. But I know it's been a strange year, or it's been a strange 15 days to flatten the curve, as I like to say. even though it's been a year. But it seems like you've been getting some music out. You've been kind of staying relevant, staying in the game. Like what's the latest from your camp? I know I saw some posts about some tour dates. Obviously, you just mentioned some about some new music. Like where are you at? Like in the
so again, right before COVID, man, we were about to release a whole full length album last year summertime, and that just we didn't want to do a release because we couldn't have a proper tour to kick it off and promote it. And then we started going through some of the material, like, oh shit, what are we doing? It's all good stuff, but we started rethinking a lot of it. So we put out a single because I was just like, I was gonna put out one of the more modern country songs that are meant to be on the radio, meant to be all famous and stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm putting out Head in a Mess, which came out in September.
Yeah.
And
great song, by the way. Great song.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And we've been buckling down, and what we're doing is we're releasing a few singles here. The one, don't quote me, it might be the first or second week of April, but this is very new news, but it's looking like it's going to be Friday, March 26th. We're releasing a new song called Freedom. And we're really excited for that to come out. But the whole thing is I've always kind of lacked, I'd come out with a song, I'd sit on it and I'd play and just kind of sit on it and play. And we're going to start hitting people hard every 3-4 weeks with new material. Boom, 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 boom. Get on a headlining supporting act. Boom, 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 boom. We want to support some of the big dogs out there and go out there and be a supporting act and just get those shows and get it rolling and just hit it hard, hit it heavy. And I don't plan on stopping, man. I'm pretty relentless, man, and I'm ready to go. I feel it. And it should be an exciting year.
I feel like, and I know a lot of people feel this way, but like when you cage a dog for a long time, and then you open the gate, and that dog gets out, that fucker's gone, man. He is on the run, and he's got no intention of stopping. I feel that within you. That
is to the T how I feel and how it's about to go, man. So we're ready to just release and hit it hard, man.
Well, that's awesome, and I think that's the kind of attitude after the year that was and the year that continues from 2020 to 2021.
100%.
You have to get to a point, I think, and you're doing it great. You're doing it right. I think getting the music out there, dropping it on people, throwing meat over the fence, from the dog in the cage, throwing meat over the fence, and then just go and attack. Because I think there's going to come a time, and Texas is going to be I was just talking to Travis Shallow about this. I'm like, Texas is going to be the gauge. People are going to go, okay, how's it working in Texas? Because if everything goes off and there's not this, any outbreaks or anything crazy, people are going to say, fuck it, we're opening the doors. Like we've lost a bunch of venues. We've lost a bunch of restaurants. We lost a bunch of jobs. Like we're just going to let it go. So I think Texas is going to be kind of all right, keep an eye on Texas, because what happens in Texas is going to permeate to other places and hopefully get up 100%. North where we are.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, I think you're absolutely right, man. Depends on the head there. So, no, absolutely, man. And California, they're doing a big outdoor show. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if some people are going to get fined or not, but they're flying me out to do the show. So, hey.
I hear no evil. I see no evil. I do all those things. I hear, speak, and see evil. That's my jam. That's my gig. Yeah. That's, and of all places too, like California. I think if you're in with the right crowd out there, like you're good. Like there's gonna be middle fingers flying and like, sorry, we're gonna have a good time out here. That's
100%.
But I think it's good to also have things to get on the calendar. I mean, that's got to be a relief to be like, finally, we're putting things down. We're getting dates out there. That's got to feel good.
Oh, it feels real good, man. And for a while, we all felt trapped. Like, hey, when the hell we're going to play something? How are we going to do it? When is it okay or acceptable to play something? Because you got a lot of haters out there. Oh, don't play a show because you're going to cause people to migrate together and nobody has masks on and they're drinking and everybody's going to get COVID. Well, guess what? Sooner or later, I believe you got to live your damn life.
Yeah.
A little bit. And, and all the shows we're doing we're doing by the guidelines as much as we can.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, but I'm ready for it to open back up, man.
Yeah. I think I have a Dr. Jay LaGuardia comes on my show usually once a week, and we just talk about kind of the things that are going on. And he just went on a trip. He was out in Arizona and came back, and and he was like, people asked me if I was scared or in fear of traveling and going and being amongst strangers in a different state. And he's like, I'm not in fear of that. I'm in fear of not living my life and not being able to go and do the things that I want to do and see the people I want to see. I think there's a lot to take from that as far as like who you are is an artist. You're a musician, you're an artist. Obviously you're a dad, but what you do, what drives you is this crazy thing called music and entertainment.
Yes.
And not be able to do that. Eventually you're going to be like, I want to go do it. to hell with the everything
100%.
else that's going on. I'm going to go and do it.
100%.
Awesome, man. I know you want to do some jams. Let's throw down some tunes, man. I'm down for
All right,
some.
so, yeah, dude. I'm gonna call up my guitar, my lead player Dominic. He's gonna come up and do some leads. But I think we're gonna do. You know how I was kind of talking about that whole outlaw thing and the modern country thing and going, who am I? Well, guess what? I write both. So we're going to play one of each, man.
Awesome, man. I love it. I'll give you guys the full screen, and when you get set up, and we'll jam. Ryan J doing the damn thing. He's a dog. Let the dogs out.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
All right. Whenever you guys are ready, let's jam. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Wait, high road. Sure. I've been traveling down this broken road, running all my life, trying to figure out my wrongs and make it all right. Talking to the matrix, dog, telling her all my wrongs. She says you're dead wrong, lighting up and rolling out of here. I'm gonna take the high road and get up out of here before my time is done and there's nothing left. If she catches me here, I'm walking that fine line between heaven and hell. I better figure out my steps before I ring the bell. I'm gonna take the high road. Yeah, I better take the high road. I got a broken and shattered mind, some trouble all the time, trying to figure out my life and give me peace of mind. I shouldn't look at the rear view and go forward every time, with no regrets and no looking back, moving straight on down the line. I'm gonna take the high road and get up out of here before my time is done and there's nothing left. And she catches me here, I'm walking that fine line between heaven and hell. I better figure out my steps before I ring the bell. I'm gonna take the high road. Yeah, I better take the high road. Oh, here we go, come on. I'm gonna take the high road and get up out of here before my time is done and there's nothing left. If she catches me here, I'm walking that fine line between heaven and hell. I better figure out my steps before I ring the bell. I'm gonna take the high road. I better take the high road. I'm gonna take the high road. Yeah, I better take the high road. I'm gonna take the high road.
Look at that. Right, Jay. Dominant. Love it, man. Love that
Thanks,
tune.
man. That song's called The High Road, man. That's one of the older school kind of side of the things. One of my favorites. That's going to be releasing within the next month. Again, we're releasing heavy starting the end of this month, every 3-4 weeks. Something I've needed to do for a long time. So, yeah.
No, dude, love it. Love it. Stamp of approval, if that means anything.
Thank you so much.
Stamp of approval, man. You guys want to do one more? Let's go both ends of your spectrum here.
So this song is actually going to be it's going to be releasing should be releasing the end of this month, Friday the 26th,
awesome.
Right before the Cali show.
I don't normally play it on acoustic, but
yeah, he usually rips it on a Gibson, man. But we just put this on an acoustic EP, which is going to be releasing soon, kind of like we've been talking about. But it's going to be ripping with the fiddle and stuff. So,
dude, love it.
This next song's called Freedom, and this is kind of a bigger deal. This is more to the modern side, but we're making it a big release and trying to put it out there really, really hard and heavy. So we'll see.
I love it, man. Have at it.
Here we go. Finally got that cabin on 40 out on the outskirts of town. I'm gonna take a ride down the Banfield Road with the windows down. I don't wanna lose this feeling. I wanna lose track till the end of time. I want to keep our freedom. I don't want to lose this feeling. Working all week, that 9 to 5, busting my ass, it feels just right. I'd rather be nowhere there. From the line, kitchen to beer, I've never saw the whole world so damn clear. It's the only place I want to. I don't want to lose this feeling. I want to lose track till the end of time. I want to keep our freedom. I don't want to lose this feeling. Packing that cooler down, I'm going out of town with all my buddies from all around. We're gonna pack up and head north and do what we need to do, so we don't have to lose this feeling, so we can lose track to the end of time. We want to keep our freedom. I don't want to lose this feeling. I don't want to lose this feeling. I want to lose track to the end of time. I want to keep our freedom. I don't want to lose this feeling. 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 I don't want to lose this feeling.
Ryan J. Dropping Freedom coming out in a couple of weeks. I love it, man. That's both back-to-back great tunes, man. I applaud you for making that decision to be like, this is who I am as an artist.
Thank you.
Take it.
Deal
with it.
100%.
It was great, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do really appreciate it.
No, both sounding great over there. And I think the key thing is for you making that call about who you are as an artist is that you have an understanding that human beings and listeners and fans like a lot of things, they ebb and flow with emotion and how they feel about things. So if you write a song,
100%.
obviously you're in this zone. If you write it a little bit differently, you're in this zone. People go through those same things.
And you know what, man? There's always going to be haters and shit talkers. So it is what it is, man. And you know what? Nobody likes everybody, so it's all good, man. But you know that it is what it is, man. I'm doing what I feel, man. And you know, a lot of artists out there don't do that, man. They either stick on one side or stick on the other. And I've been doing it for too long, and I do both. I mean, well, you know, Jamie Johnson started off, you know, back in the day doing his thing. And then he started writing Honky Tonk Donky Donk for Trace Atkins, some George Strait tunes, Give It All Away. You know, so they all do it in the game. You know, Chris Stapleton writes for Luke Bryan, but he does his more bluesy stuff. He's a songwriter, but, you know, I'm just going to start putting it all out, man. So excited for it.
I think that's super awesome. I think let's see, we got Karen loves it. Karen jumped in the comments. She says, love it.
Thank you, Mama Butch. I love it.
Yeah. That's my mom. She's giving you I think that's the clap hands. I'm not sure.
Hey,
maybe the emojis. But no, I think for you to pursue what you're pursuing and to drive the lane that you're driving, if you're not happy doing it and you feel like you're being forced to do it one way, even though sometimes you feel like you want to be in a different lane, like eventually that'll wear on you. You'd be like, oh, man, I got to stay in this lane. But if I talked about, it's all right to veer. We pay taxes on both sides of the road. You can drive wherever the hell you want to drive, man.
Love it, man. That's what we're doing.
Awesome. Hey, Ryan J, thank you, man, so much for being a part of the show today, for throwing down some songs for us. I'm super excited for new music to drop. I'm super excited for you to get back on the road. Hopefully we can get you over here in the great state of Wisconsin sometime soon. And
sometime soon would be great, man. I'd love it.
Throw down some shows, man. At Ryan J Country. There he is. There's my man over there. I want to hear that on a Gibson, though. I want to hear that shit live. Live and raw. No, not just like eventually, like at a show, like at a show with beer being spilled on me, and just
you know, and we do the acoustic live thing, but we do the full band live thing, man. And I feel like once we come out, dude, we're really a force to be reckoned with, and we can, you know, stand up there with the best of them, hands down.
Awesome. At Ryan J Country, you can find him on Instagram and all the other socials. I know you're on Facebook and probably on YouTube. I know I was watching the lyric video there for Head in a Mess the other day.
Nice,
dude. Thank you so much for taking some time out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the road soon.
Thank you. You too, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. That was awesome. I love a little Thursday night music. We got some bourbon flowing in here. Life is good. We're in a good place. Ryan J, man. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for that dude right there, man. He's coming. He's coming out hot. So let's get him up here in Wisconsin here sometime soon. To all of you who jumped into the chat today, I appreciate you for watching wherever you're watching on. If it's on Facebook or if it's on YouTube or if it's on Twitch, like, thank you so much. And make sure you follow all the guys that we have on, guys and gals that we have on the show, because they are just super duper talented individuals. Great stories about music and life and everything across the board. At Ryan J Country, and then at Travis Shallow, my guest for today. Follow all them. We always have the links, of course, on the social media pages. Do have to do one thing before we jump out of here. I have to say a huge thanks out to my boy right there, my boy Sven Erlandson. He sent me a copy of his book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup, and a t-shirt. I got to say thanks to Sven. He was on the show from Badass Counseling. I can't wait to dive into this. This is going to be the recipe book for some magic here. So thank you, Sven. Badass Counseling, at Badass Counseling on Instagram and all the other social media. So follow Sven. He's dude puts out like 5 videos a day, just like 1-minute clips of him just being inspirational. So if you need some motivation in your life, talk to my boy Sven here. And There's a Hole in My Love Cup is his latest book, and I can't wait to read it. So I'm going to jump into that hopefully later on tonight. Go follow him as well. Big Friday show coming up. It's just going to be me on Friday. We're going to have Greg Cash and Joey A on and Dylan Howard. They got some things that came up musically, so that's most important to them. We're going to get those 3 on, the trio on here sometime soon. But tomorrow, just me. We're just going to talk about the stuff going on in the world. So please join us 5 p.m. Central on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on Twitch. And also, of course, you can always jump on the Patreon if you want exclusive content, some behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to do some really exclusive things on there in the next couple of weeks. You can join the Patreon. That link is in the comment sections of all of the platforms of which you are watching. So please join the Patreon, support the show. We'll keep supporting artists and anybody that wants to have a platform to talk. That's why we are here. Thank you so much for being a part of it. It has been great. Oh, I gotta say what's up to my G. What's up? What's up? There we go. Just about to wrap up the show. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Have a great Friday. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. on all the platforms. Until then, we say take care.